प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। The advent of Lord Krishna, as Janmashtami is coming, uh, we are approaching the most auspicious appearance of Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. So let us in tune our consciousness so that we can have Krishna's appearance, Janmashtami, the day of appearance of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. So we begin the 10th canto, the first chapter, the advent of Lord Krishna. Advent means arrival or the coming of, the occasion of advent of Lord Krishna means Lord Krishna's appearance. The summary of the first chapter is as follows. This chapter describes how Kamsa, frightened by hearing an omen about his being killed by the eighth son of Devaki, killed Devaki's sons one after another. So this is, we know that there are two brothers. One is Ugrasen and the other is Devak. They are two brothers. So Ugrasen is the king and his younger brother is Devak. Ugrasen's son is Kamsa and Devak's daughter is called Devaki. So they are cousins. And Kamsa was very fond of his cousin sister Devaki. So when Devaki got married to the son of Surasen, that is Vasudev, Surasen is also a king. He was the king of Mathura before Ugrasen became the king. But Vasudev was not interested in becoming the king. So the kingdom went to Ugrasen. And from Ugrasen it was snatched over by Kamsa. So Kamsa was so favorable, was so fond of his cousin sister Devaki, that when Devaki got married to Vasudev, he became the chariot driver. And he was pulling the chariot, taking his sister Devaki to his in-laws' place. And while he was driving the chariot, there is this prophecy from the heaven saying that, "Oh foolish Kamsa, the chariot that you are drawing of Devaki, Devaki's eighth son, will become the source of your killing. He will kill you." And as soon as Kamsa hears this prophecy, he becomes so frightened that he pulls out his sword and he immediately wants to kill Devaki. But somehow Vasudev, who is a very righteous personality, he pacifies Kamsa. It will all come. He pacifies Kamsa and makes Kamsa agree that whatever sons will be born, he said that you have danger not from Devaki, but from Devaki's eighth son. So I will hand over all the babies of Devaki to you. And you can kill them. So there is no fear for you, and you should not kill your sister. You should not kill a woman who is helpless. In this way, he persuaded and he made Kamsa agree not to kill Devaki. But he was so cruel that he killed first 6 babies one after the other, mercilessly. When Sukdev Goswami finished describing the dynasty of Yadu, as well as the dynasties of the moon god and sun god, Maharaj Parikshit requested him to describe Lord Krishna who appeared with Baldev in the Yadu dynasty and how Krishna performed his activities within this world. Krishna is transcendental, the king said, and therefore to understand his activities is the occupation of the liberated persons. Please understand, very deep principle Srila Prabhupada is saying. That because Krishna is transcendental, he is beyond the 3 modes. Therefore, to understand his activities is the occupation of the liberated person. But for those who are conditioned, those who do not want to become liberated, they don't want to hear. They are not inclined to hear. They will leave the hearing process again and again, and they will indulge in such activities which can create future bodies. So those who are having the aspiration to get liberated from the bondage of material existence, for them they have no choice. Their only option is to hear of the transcendental activities of Krishna. Hearing Krishna Lila is the boat by which to achieve the ultimate goal of life. What is the ultimate goal of life? Is to return home back to Godhead, go back to Krishna Lok. So the only process of returning to the Krishna Lok is hearing Krishna Lila. How many are hearing today? Only 4 of us. All others are busy. They just don't want to hear. Why? Because if they hear, there is possibility of liberation. They don't want to hear Krishna Lila. You ask Purushottam, Ravinder, he has not joined today. What happened to him? So see, right in the beginning of the 10th canto, again Prabhupada is saying this is the occupation of the liberated person. Hearing Krishna Lila is the boat by which to achieve the ultimate goal of life. Except for an animal killer or one who is following the policy of suicide, every intelligent person must strive to understand Krishna in his activities. So here clearly Srimad Bhagavatam says one who is not interested in hearing Krishna Lila is either he is an animal killer or he is following the policy of suicide. He wants to commit spiritual suicide. Krishna was the only worshipable deities for the Pandavas. When Maharaj Parikshit was in the womb of his mother, Uttara, Krishna saved him from the attack of the Brahmastra. Now Maharaj Parikshit asked Sukdev Goswami how his lordship Baldev, the son of Rohini, could have appeared in the womb of Devaki. Why did Krishna transfer himself from Mathura to Vrindavan? King Parikshit asked, how did he live there with his family members? What did Krishna do in Mathura and Vrindavan? And why did he kill his material uncle Kamsa? For how many years did Krishna reside in Dwarka and how many queens did he have? So this is all pertinent questions about Krishna Lila. He is inquiring on all aspects of Krishna Lila. Dwarka Lila, Mathura Lila, Vrindavan Lila. Maharaj Parikshit asked Sukdev Goswami all these questions. He also requested Sukdev Goswami to describe other activities of Krishna about which he could not inquire. This is also very, very phenomenal. That he says that, please tell me what all that I have asked for, and please also tell me for all those which I have not asked for. When Sukdev Goswami began to speak about Krishna consciousness, Maharaj Parikshit forgot the fatigue brought about by his fasting. So they are coming on the 10th canto. So out of 7 days, 3 days are over. 3 days, Sukdev Goswami is speaking. 3 days and 3 nights. There is no termination in the night. And for 3 days and 3 nights consecutively, Parikshit Maharaj is just hearing Krishna Katha. And he is not having any sleep, he is not having any hunger, and he's not having any thirst also. So Maharaj Parikshit forgot the fatigue brought by fasting. Enthusiastic to describe Krishna, Sukdev Goswami said, like the waters of the Ganges, description of the activities of Krishna can purify the entire universe. The speaker, the inquirer, and the audience all become purified. This is the most auspicious effect of Krishna Katha. Everyone gets the benefit. Once, when the entire world was overburdened by the increasing military power of demons in the form of kings, Mother Earth assumed the shape of a cow and approached Lord Brahma for relief. Sympathetic to Mother Earth's lamentation, Brahma, accompanied by Lord Shiva and other demigods, took the cow-shaped Mother Earth to the shore of the milk ocean, where he offered prayers to please Lord Vishnu. Milk ocean is what? It is the Shira Sagar. And in the Shira Sagar, who resides? Shirodakshai Vishnu, the Paramatma. So, Mother Earth in the form of a cow, and she petitioned Brahma, and with Brahma came Lord Shiva, Indra, Chandra, Surya, all the demigods. And they offered prayers to please Lord Vishnu, who lay on the island in transcendental ecstasy. Brahma thereafter understood the advice of Mahavishnu, who informed him that he would appear on the surface of the earth to mitigate the burden created by the demons. So this transmission was only done to Brahmaji. He could understand the response and reply of the Supreme Lord. The demigods, along with their wives, would appear there as associates of Lord Krishna in the family of Yadu to increase the sons and grandsons in that dynasty. And also there was a command to Brahma that I will appear and you ask all these demigods. They should go and appear before I appear. By the will of Lord Krishna, Anantadev would appear first as Balaram, and Krishna's potency Yogmaya would also appear. Brahma informed Mother Earth about all this, and then he returned to his own abode. After marrying Devaki, Vasudev was returning home on a chariot driven by Kamsa, her brother, when an ominous voice addressed Kamsa, warning him that Devaki's eighth child would kill him. Upon hearing this omen, Kamsa was immediately ready to kill Devaki, but Vasudev diplomatically began to instruct him. Vasudev stressed that it would not be good for Kamsa to kill his younger sister, especially at the time of her marriage. Anyone who possesses a material body must die. This is for sure. Kamsa to kill the younger sister, especially at the time of her marriage. Anyone who possesses material body must die. Okay. Vasudev advised him, every living entity lives in a body for some time and then transmigrates to another body. But one is unfortunately misled into accepting the body as the soul. If a person under this mistaken conception wants to kill another body, he is condemned as hellish. Because Kamsa was not satisfied by Vasudev's instruction, Vasudev devised a plan. He offered to bring Kamsa all the Devaki's children so that Kamsa could kill them. Why then should Kamsa kill Devaki now? Was very intelligent, very sharp, Vasudev. He thought when there is the prophecy that the eighth child will kill, so obviously he will kill Kamsa. But to make that prophecy happen, Devaki has to survive. And Devaki has to deliver first 7 children. So immediately he told Kamsa that don't worry, I will give you all the children. So you don't have any fear or danger from Devaki. It is Devaki's son who is supposed to kill you. So as soon as the baby is born, I'll hand over. When Vasudev gave Krishna, okay, why then should Kamsa kill Devaki now? Kamsa was satisfied by this proposal. And in due course of time, when Devaki gave birth to a child, Vasudev brought the newborn baby to Kamsa, who upon seeing Vasudev's magnanimity was struck with wonder. Which father will bring the newborn child to be killed? But Vasudev was true to his promise. So this changed the heart of Kamsa. When Vasudev gave Kamsa the first child, Kamsa, showing some intelligence, said that since he was to be killed by the eighth child, why should he kill the first? Although Vasudev did not trust him, Kamsa requested Vasudev to take the child back. Later, however, after Narad approached Kamsa and disclosed to him that the demigods were appearing in the Yadu and Vrishni dynasties and conspiring to kill him. So, you know this famous story? Narad Muni came with a lotus flower in his hand, and that lotus had 8 petals. And he encircled the flower, and then he told Kamsa to count the petals, starting from anywhere. From one side, he started 1 to 8. Then he reversed the side. He said, from now you count. So in this way, he said, you don't know which is first and which is eighth. So similarly, Vishnu is any child. Vishnu in the form of any child can kill you. And in a way, he instigated Kamsa to kill all the children. Why? Because he wanted Krishna's appearance to be quick. You see, if what would have happened, that the first child which was brought by Vasudev to Kamsa, Kamsa spared him. And Kamsa was his maternal uncle. So if the child would have grown, and there would have been some exchange of affection between Kamsa and the child, or between Devaki, then Krishna's appearance would have been further delayed. And in order to expedite the appearance of Krishna, Narad Muni devised this plan. So he came immediately and he told Kamsa that don't trust the demigods and Lord Vishnu. Any son can be first or any son can be eighth. In this way, he instigated Kamsa to kill all the children. Later on, after Narad approached Kamsa and disclosed to him that the demigods were appearing in Yadu and Vrishni dynasties and conspiring to kill him, Kamsa decided to kill all the children born in these families. And he also decided that any child born from the womb of Devaki must be killed. Thus he arrested and imprisoned both Devaki and Vasudev and killed 6 of their sons, one after another. Narad had only informed Kamsa that in the previous birth, Kamsa was Kalnemi, a demon killed by Vishnu. Anyone knows about Kalnemi? Who was Kalnemi? In his previous life, Kamsa was Kalnemi. Who is Kalnemi? Kalnemi is one of the sons of Hiranyakashipu. He is one of the sons of Hiranyakashipu. His father is a big demon. In his previous life, he was killed by Lord Vishnu. Hiranyakashipu was also killed, and so was Kalnemi. And Kalnemi had 6 sons. And these 6 sons are those sons. In the previous birth, they were the sons of Marich, a great sage Marich, who was born from the mind of Brahmaji. And these 6 sons of Marichi, they offended Brahmaji. And they were cursed by Brahma to become demons. So they became the sons of Kalnemi. And in the next birth, they became the sons of Vasudeva and Devaki, and they were all killed by their own father Kalnemi, now as Kamsa. A demon killed by Vishnu. Consequently, Kamsa became a greatest enemy to all the descendants of the Yadu Vamsha, the Yadu dynasty. He even arrested and imprisoned his own father Ugrasen, for Kamsa wanted to enjoy the kingdom alone. Krishna has threefold pastimes, the Vrajalila, Mathura Lila, and Dwarka Lila. As already mentioned in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there are 90 chapters which describe all these Leelas. The first 4 chapters describe Brahma's prayer for the relief of earth's burden, and they also describe the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Chapters 5 through 39 recount Krishna's pastime in Vrindavan. The 40th chapter describes how Krishna enjoyed the water of Yamuna and how Akrura offered praise. Chapter 41 through 51. 11 chapters tell of Krishna's pastime in Mathura, and chapters 52 through 99. No, chapters 52 through 90. 39 chapters relate Krishna's pastime in Dwarka. So out of the 90 chapters, we can say the first 40 chapters are Vrajalila. Next 11 chapters are the Mathura Lila. And the last 39 chapters are Krishna's Dwarka Lila. Chapter 29 through 33. 5 chapters. 29 till 33. 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. These 5 chapters describe Krishna's dancing with the gopis known as the Ras Lila. So these are called the Rasa Pancha Adhyaya. Therefore, these 5 chapters are known as Rasa Pancha Adhyaya. Prabhupada is mentioning. The 47th chapter of the 10th canto is a description known as Brahmar Gita. Okay, so we begin the 10th canto. Shri Raja Uvacha Kathito Vamsha Vistaro Bhavata Soma Suryaya Rajanam Chobhaya Vamsyanam Charitam Paramadbhutam. Charitam Paramadbhutam. King Parikshit said, My dear Lord, you have elaborately described the dynasties of both the moon god and the sun god, with the exalted and wonderful characters of their kings. At the end of the 9th canto, 24th chapter, Shukdev Goswami summarized the activities of Krishna. He spoke of how Krishna had personally appeared in order to reduce the burden of the earth, how he had manifested his pastimes as a householder, and how soon after his birth, he had transferred himself to his Rajbhumi Leela. Parikshit Maharaj, being naturally a devotee of Krishna, wanted to hear more about Lord Krishna. This is the character of a devotee. Prabhupada is saying, being naturally a devotee of Krishna, wanted to hear more about Lord Krishna. The more we are inclined to hear Krishna Katha, Krishna Lila, to that extent we can know we are naturally becoming devotee of Krishna. Therefore, to encourage Sukdev Goswami to continue speaking about Krishna and give further details, he thanks Sukdev Goswami for having described the activities of Krishna in brief. Sukdev Goswami had said, Jato gata pitragrahat vrajanam idhathartho hatva ripun suta sutani kritorudhara utpadya teshu purusha Kritubhi samije atmanam atmanigamam prathyanjaneshu. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Shri Krishna, known as Lila Purushottam, appeared as the son of Vasudev, but immediately left his father's home and went to Vrindavan to expand his loving relationships with his confidential devotees. In Vrindavan, the Lord killed many demons, and afterward he returned to Dwarka, where, according to Vedic principles, he married many wives, who were the best of women, begot through them hundreds of sons, and performed sacrifice for his own worship to establish principles of householder life. The Yaduna dynasty belonged to the family descending from Soma, the moon god. So previously, Lord Ram had already appeared in the Surya Vamsha. And Soma, the sun god, he requested the Lord that when will I get the opportunity, when will my lineage become glorified? So now Krishna decides to appear in the Soma Vamsha. Although the planetary systems are so arranged that the sun comes first before the moon, Parikshit Maharaj gave more respect to the dynasty of the moon god, the Soma Vamsha, because in the Yadava dynasty descending from the moon, Krishna had appeared. Same way for Yamuna and Ganga. Although people give reverence more to Ganga, but all our acharyas, they give more reverence. They say a million times more auspicious is Yamuna. Why? Because Krishna sported in the waters of Yamuna. It is the same thing here. It is being said that Parikshit Maharaj gave more respect to the dynasty of the moon god, the Somavamsha, because in the Yadav dynasty descending from the moon, Krishna had appeared. There are two different Kshatriya families of the royal order, one descending from the king of the moon planet and the other descending from the kings of the sun. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead appears, he generally appears in a Kshatriya family because he comes to establish religious principles and the life of righteousness. According to the Vedic system, the Kshatriya family is the protector of the human race. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared as Lord Ramchandra, he appeared in the Surya Vamsha, the family descending from the sun god. And when he appeared as Lord Krishna, he did so in the Yadu dynasty or Yadu Vamsha, where descendant from was from the moon god. In the ninth canto, 24th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a long list of the kings of the Yadu Vamsha. All the kings in both the Soma Vamsha and Surya Vamsha were great and powerful. And Maharaj Parikshit praised them very highly. Rajanam Chobhya Vamshanam Charitam Paramadbhutam. Nonetheless, he wanted to hear more about the Soma Vamsha because that was the dynasty in which Krishna had appeared. The supreme abode of the personality of Godhead Krishna is described in Brahma Samhita as the abode of Chintamani. Chintamani prakar sadma sukalpa vriksha lakshavrateshu survira vipalayantam. Brahma Samhita 529. The Vrindavan Dham on this earth is a replica of the same abode. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita 8:20, in the spiritual sky there is another eternal nature, transcendental to manifested and unmanifested matter. What is the verse? Without saying 8:20. Who remembers? Spiritual sky there is an eternal nature, transcendental to manifested and unmanifested matter. बोलिए कौन सा वर्ष है? Yes, there shall go.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Tasmat Bhavan, no?
Yes. No, not Bhutva. It is manifest and unmanifest, na? Par tasmat bhavyo avyaktat vyaktat sanatana. That which is manifest and that which is unmanifest. It is beyond both. It is what? It is sanatana. It is eternal. Okay, good. But beyond this is the unmanifest, which is imperceptible to those who are embodied. And beyond this unmanifested matter is the spiritual kingdom, which is described in the Bhagavad Gita as supreme and eternal. That kingdom is never annihilated, although material nature is subject to repeated creation and annihilation. That spiritual nature remains as it is eternally. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, that spiritual nature, this spiritual world is described as Vrindavan. Description of the above mentioned shloka from the ninth canto, Jato Gataha Pitta Grihat, will be found here in the 10th canto. Yaduscha Dharmashilasya Nitaram Muni Sattama Tatra Amshena Avatirnasya Vishnu Viryani Samsana. O best of Munis, you have described the descendants of Yadu, who were very pious and strictly adherent to religious principles. Now, if you will kindly describe the wonderful, glorious activities of Lord Vishnu or Krishna, who appeared in the Yadu dynasty with Baldev, his planetary expansion. So, this is all being inquired by Maharaj Parikshit. The Brahma Samhita 5.1 explains Krishna is the origin of the Vishnu Tattva. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karan Karanam. Krishna is known as Govinda, is the supreme controller. He has an eternal blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin, for he is the prime cause of all causes. Yasya Kanivasati Kalam Athalam Atharvalambya Jivanti Roma Vilaja Jagadandanath Vishnur Mahan Sa Ihayasya Kala Vishesho Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. The Brahmas, the head of the innumerable universes, live only for the duration of one breath of Mahavishnu. Wow. Anyone remembers the lifespan of Brahma? Let me see. How many of you remember? What is the lifespan of Brahma? Ryanshi, don't sleep. Hari bol. Wake up. Here. What is the lifespan of Brahma ji? Boliye. For how many years he lives? So many times we have studied. Who will tell me? Brahmaji's lifespan, everyone should be knowing. What is the lifespan of Brahmaji? Who remembers? Yes, there should go.
430 billion years.
Huh? Say again. Unmute and speak quickly.
430 billion years. 430 billion.
No, that is wrong. I am asking lifespan. What is the lifespan of Brahmaji?
100 years.
Huh?
100 years.
100 years is equivalent to how many years in this earthly planet? That is true. According to Brahma, okay, one day of Brahma is equal to how much? Either you tell me one day of Brahma or you tell me one lifespan of Brahma. कुछ तो बताओ. अरे जल्दी बोलो बाबा, टाइम खत्म हो रहा है. ढूंढ के रखना. I will ask the question to everyone. You all of you please find out what is the lifespan of Brahma's one day and what is his total lifespan. So that long lifespan of Brahma is what? One breath of Mahavishnu. Govinda Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. Krishna to Bhagwan Swayam. Even Lord Mahavishnu, who by his breathing creates upon millions of universes, is Lord Krishna's Kala Visheshaha, or plenary portion of the plenary portion. Mahavishnu is the plenary expansion of Sankarshana, who is the plenary expansion of Narayan. Please hear attentively. Mahavishnu is the plenary expansion of Sankarshan, who is the plenary expansion of Narayan. Narayan is the plenary expansion of the Chaturvyuha, and the Chaturvyuha are the plenary expansions of Baladev, the first manifestations of Krishna. Therefore, when Krishna appeared with Baladev, all the Vishnu Tattvas appeared with him. Maharaj Parishit requested Sukadeva Goswami to describe Krishna and his glorious activities. Another meaning may be derived from this verse as follows. Although Sukadeva Goswami was the greatest Muni, he could describe Krishna only partially amshena, for no one can describe Krishna fully. It is said that Anantadev has thousands of heads, but although he tries to describe Krishna with thousands of tongues, his descriptions are still incomplete. Very beautiful verse. This is a verse to memorize. All of us should memorize this verse. Avatirya yadurvamshe Bhagavan bhuta bhavana Kritaman yani vishwatma Tanino vadanas vistara Avatirya yadurvanshe Bhagavan bhuta bhavana Kritamani vishwatma Tanino vadvistara Yadurvamshe. So he descends. In which Vamsha? In the Yadurvamsha. Yadurvarsha is the Somavarsha. And who has appeared? Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Who is Bhuta Bhavana? Who is the cause of the entire creation? And Kritvan Yani Vishwatma. So he wants to know the Vishwatma, the super soul of the entire earth. Kritvan. What activities he performed. So Tani no Vada Vistara. So please explain to me in details what all activities and the glories of the performance of activities of the Supreme Lord. The super soul, the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, the cause of cosmic manifestation, appeared in the dynasty of Yadu. Avatirya Yadurvarshe Bhagavan Bhuta Bhavana. And Kritvan Yani Vishwatma, he is the super soul of the entire creation. Tanno Vada Vistara. So please explain to me in detail all his transcendental activities. So please tell me elaborately about his glorious activities and character from the beginning to the end of his life. After spending more than 3 days and 3 nights without sleep, without hunger, without thirst. This is the heartfelt desire of Maharaj Parikshit. From the beginning to the end of his life. Vistaret. In great detail. Don't cut it short. Expand it. In this verse, the words Kritvan Yani indicate that all the different activities Krishna performed while present on earth are beneficial to human society. If religionists, philosophers, and people in general simply, again, see what Prabhupada is saying. If religionists, philosophers, and people in general simply hear the activities of Krishna, they will be liberated. This is the third verse. And Prabhupada started this by saying that if one hears Krishna Katha, he will be liberated. What did he say? What was the statement? Who will hear Krishna Katha? Yes, there is bro.
Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, hearing of activities of Lord Krishna is the prime occupation of the liberated soul.
Yes. Only that means those who are to some extent liberated can only hear. Those who are hearing, that means what? They are stepping further, they are progressing on the path of liberation. And those who are not hearing or those who are withdrawing from hearing, that means what? That they want to remain in the cycle of birth and death. See how many times Prabhupada is emphasizing this important point. We have described several times that there are 2 kinds of Krishna Katha, represented by the Bhagavad Gita, spoken personally by Krishna himself, about himself, and Srimad Bhagavatam, spoken by Sukdev Goswami about the glories of Krishna. Anyone who becomes slightly interested in Krishna Katha is liberated. Again, Prabhupada is saying. See how his compassion is flowing. Again, he's saying, anyone who becomes even slightly interested in Krishna Katha is liberated. Kirtanaya Deva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param Vrajet. Simply by chanting or repeating Krishna Katha, one is liberated from the contaminations of Kali Yuga. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore advised, Yare Dekha Tare Kaha Krishna Upadesh. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya-lila 7.128. This is the mission of Krishna consciousness, to hear about Krishna and thus be liberated from material bondage. So if we are not hearing, then we are actually not in Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada, this is the mission of Krishna consciousness. To hear about Krishna and thus be liberated from material bondage. Why? Nivrit tarshe rupagiyamana bhava sadashrotra manobhiramat ka uttam shloka gunanuvada puman virajyet vina pashugnat. This is another verse to memorize. Very beautiful verse. Nivrit tarshe rupagiyamana भव सदा श्रोत्र मनोभिरामात् का उत्तम श्लोके गुणानुवादात् पुमान् विरज्येत विना पशुना. Glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is performed in the Parampara system. That is, it is conveyed from spiritual master to disciple. Such glorification is relished by those no longer interested in the false temporary glorification of this cosmic manifestation. Description of the Lord are the right medicines for the conditioned soul. Bhava sada shrotra manobhiram. Those who are caught in the cycle of birth and death, for them there is only one panacea, is to hear Krishna Katha. Description of the Lord are the right medicine for the conditioned soul undergoing repeated birth and death. Therefore, who will cease hearing? Who will not hear? Or who will withdraw from hearing? Such glorification of the Lord except a butcher. Those who are butcher-like. And what they are cutting? They are cutting their own spiritual progress. Or one who is killing his own self. A person who is a self-killer. What does Srimad Bhagavatam say? What is Srimad Bhagavatam referring as a person who is killing himself? Suicide. Huh? Self-killer means what? Suicide. How can one kill oneself? Because the soul is eternal. But still what he does not come to the position of realization of the soul by terminating from the process of Krishna Katha. So what is such a person called in Srimad Bhagavatam? बोलो जल्दी बोलो. ये सब तो पता होना चाहिए, बहुत बेसिक है. क्या बात है, खाली दयाशील और रम्या ही बोलेंगे, बाकी सब नहीं बोलेंगे. बोलिए रम्या.
It is supposed to be for the Atma Bhava.
Yes, Atma, one who is the killer of the soul. How? Because he is not allowing the soul to be free from the bondage. तो सोचो जिस दिन हियरिंग नहीं करेंगे उस दिन हम क्या कर रहे हैं? आत्महा. We are acting as Atmaha. In India, it is the practice among the general populace to hear about Krishna either from Bhagavad Gita or from Srimad Bhagavatam. But that practice is becoming extinct. In order to gain relief from the disease of repeated birth and death, Nivritta Tarsher Upagiyamana. Although India is now fallen, when there is a message that someone will speak about Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, thousands of people still gather to hear. That is Prabhupada's time. But now what is happening? Thousands, not even few are coming. This verse indicates, however, that such recitation of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam must be done by persons completely free from the material desire, Nivritta Tarshe. Everyone within this material world, beginning from Brahma down to the insignificant ant, is full of material desire for sense enjoyment. And everyone is busy in sense gratification. But when thus engaged, one cannot fully understand the value of Krishna Katha, either in the form of the Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam. Please hear this. Those whose heart are full of material desires and sense enjoyment, they cannot understand the value of Krishna Katha, neither from Bhagavad Gita nor from Srimad Bhagavatam. If we hear the glories of Supreme Personality of Godhead from liberated persons, this hearing will certainly free us from the bondage of material activities. But hearing Srimad Bhagavatam spoken by a professional reciter cannot actually help us achieve liberation. Krishna Katha is very simple. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As he explains himself, Matta Partaram Nanyat Kinchid Asti Dhananjaya. O Arjuna, there is no truth superior to me. 7.7 Bhagavad Gita. Simply by understanding this fact that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one can become a liberated person. But especially in this age, because people are interested in hearing the Bhagavad Gita from unscrupulous persons who depart from the simple presentation of the Bhagavad Gita and distort it for their personal satisfaction, they fail to derive the real benefit. There are big scholars, politicians, philosophers, and scientists who speak on the Bhagavad Gita in their own polluted way. And people in general hear from them, being uninterested in hearing the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead from a devotee. A devotee is one who has no other motive for reciting the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam than to serve the Lord. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has therefore advised us to hear the glories of the Lord from a realized person. Yatha Bhagavata Pada Vaishnavera Sthane. Unless one is personally a realized soul in the science of Krishna consciousness, a neophyte should not approach him to hear about the Lord, for this is strictly forbidden by Srila Sanatan Goswami, who quotes from the Padma Puran, Avaishnavo Mukhat Giram Putam Hari Kathamritam Shravanam Neva Kartavya Sarpochishtam Yathapaya. One should avoid hearing from persons not suited in Vaishnava behavior. A Vaishnava is Nivritta Tarshaha. That is, he has no material purpose. He is freed from material aspirations and hankering. For his only purpose is to preach Krishna consciousness. So-called scholars, philosophers, and politicians exploit the importance of the Bhagavad Gita by distorting its meaning for their own purpose. Therefore, this verse warns that Krishna Katha should be recited by a person who is Nivrit Tarshe. Sukdev Goswami epitomizes the proper reciter of Srimad Bhagavatam, and Parikshit Maharaj, who purposefully left his kingdom and family prior to meeting death, epitomizes the person fit to hear it. A qualified reciter of Srimad Bhagavatam gives the right medicine, Bhava Aushadhi, for the conditioned soul. The Krishna consciousness movement is therefore trying to train qualified preachers to recite Srimad Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita throughout the entire world, so that people in general in all parts of the world may take advantage of this movement and thus be relieved of the threefold miseries of material existence. The instructions of the Bhagavad Gita and the descriptions of Srimad Bhagavatam are so pleasing that almost anyone suffering from the threefold miseries of material existence will desire to hear the glories of the Lord from these books and thus benefit on the path of liberation. Two classes of men, however, will never be interested in hearing the message of the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Those who are determined to commit suicide, Janiya Suniya, Vishakhain, and those determined to kill cows and other animals for the satisfaction of their own tongues. Although such persons may make a show of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam or a Bhagavad Saptaha, this is but another creation of the karmis who cannot derive any benefit from such a performance. The word Pashugnath is important in this connection. Pashugna means butcher. Persons fond of performing ritualistic ceremonies for elevation to the higher planetary systems must offer sacrifice yajna by killing animals. Lord Buddhadev therefore rejected the authorities of the Vedas because his mission was to stop animal sacrifices, which are recommended in the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies. Nindasi yagna vidheraha shruti jatam Sadaya hridayam darshita pashughatam Keshavadhrita buddha sharira Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare. Even though animal sacrifices are sanctioned in Vedic ceremonies, men who kill animals for such ceremonies are considered butchers. Butchers cannot be interested in Krishna consciousness, for they are already materially allured. Their only interest lies in developing comforts for the temporary body. Bhogaishwarya prasaktanam taya pritite chasam vyavasayatmika buddhi samadho na vidhiyate. In the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyments and material opulence, and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination of devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. Bhagavad Gita 244. Sri Narottam Das Thakur says, Manusya janam paya Radha Krishna na bhajiya Janiya suniya visha khainu. Anyone who is not Krishna conscious and who therefore does not engage in the service of the Lord is also a Pashugna, for he is willingly drinking poison. Such a person cannot be interested in Krishna Katha because he still has a desire for material sense gratification. He is not Nivritta Tarshe. Nivritta Tarshe means free from material hankerings or material aspiration. It is said, Trayavargiga Purusha Vimukha Harimedasa. Those interested in three varga, that is in dharma, artha, and kama, are religious for the sake of achieving a material position with which to gain better facilities for sense gratification. Such persons are killing themselves by willingly keeping themselves in the cycle of birth and death. They cannot be interested in Krishna consciousness. So very long purport. For Krishna Katha topics about Krishna consciousness, there must be a speaker and a hearer, both of whom can be interested in Krishna consciousness if they are no longer interested in material topics. One can actually see how this attitude automatically develops in persons who are Krishna conscious. Although the devotees of the Krishna consciousness movement are quite young men, they are no longer they no longer read materialistic newspaper, magazines, and so on. For they are no longer interested in such topics, Nivritta Tarshe. They completely give up the bodily understanding of life for topics concerning Uttam Shloke. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the spiritual master speaks, and the disciple hears with attention. Unless both of them are free from the material desires, they cannot be interested in topics of Krishna consciousness. The spiritual master and disciple do not need to understand anything more than Krishna, because simply by understanding Krishna and talking about Krishna, one becomes a perfect learned person. Kasminnu Bhagavan Vijnana Sarvam Idam Vignatam Bhavati. Mundaka Upanishad 1.3. The Lord sits within everyone's heart, and by the grace of the Lord, the devotee receives the instruction directly from the Lord Himself, who says in Bhagavad Gita 15:15, Sarvasya chaham hridasannivishto matta smritirjnanam apohanam cha vedeshcha sarve rahamev vedyo vedant kritved videva chaha. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known indeed. I am the compiler of Veda, and I am the knower of the Vedas. Krishna consciousness is so exalted that one who is perfectly situated in Krishna consciousness, under the direction of the spiritual master, is fully satisfied by reading Krishna Katha, as found in Srimad Bhagavatam. One who is perfectly situated in Krishna consciousness under the direction of the spiritual master is fully satisfied by reading Krishna Katha as found in Srimad Bhagavatam, the Bhagavad Gita, and similar Vedic literature. Since merely talking about Krishna is so pleasing, if we can simply imagine how pleasing it is to render service to Krishna. When discourses on Krishna Katha take place between a liberated spiritual master and disciples, others also sometimes take advantage of hearing these topics and also benefit. This is for us. When discourses on Krishna Katha takes place between liberated spiritual master and his disciples, others also sometimes take advantage of hearing these topics and also benefit. These topics are the medicine to stop the repetition of birth and death. The cycle of repeated birth and death by which one takes on different bodies again and again is called bhava or bhavaroga. If anyone willingly or unwillingly hears Krishna Katha, his bhavaroga, the disease of birth and death, will certainly stop. Therefore, Krishna Katha is called bhava aushadha, the remedy to stop the repetition of birth and death. Karmis or person attached to material sense enjoyment generally cannot give up their material desires. But Krishna Katha is such a potent medicine that if one is induced to hear Krishna Kirtan, he will certainly be freed from this disease. A practical example is Dhruv Maharaj, who at the end of his tapasya was fully satisfied. When the Lord wanted to give Dhruva a benediction, Dhruva refused it. Swamin Kritartho Asmi Varam Nayanche. Chetan Charitamrita Madhya Lila 22.42. My dear Lord, he said, I am fully satisfied. I do not ask for any benediction for material sense gratifications. We actually see that even young boys and girls in Krishna consciousness movement have given up their long practice of bad habits like illicit sex, meat eating, intoxication, and gambling. Because Krishna consciousness is so potent that it gives them full satisfaction. They are no longer interested in material sense gratification. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. So I'll stop here today. So we begin. So the first 4 verses we see there is only single point focus on the glorification of hearing Krishna Katha. And with what interest and attention is Maharaj Parikshit hearing. Hare Krishna. If you have any question or any comment, please go ahead. Rayanshi is having samadhi. Not hearing Krishna Katha, sleeping. Okay, you all try to keep yourself connected in Krishna consciousness by the process of reading and hearing. We have more than a week, still a week, practically more than a week. We have Krishna Janmashtami coming next Friday, today is Wednesday. So every day, please continue to read and hear and share so that our consciousness is connected to Krishna and we can invite Krishna to appear in our heart. Then we can celebrate actual Janmashtami. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Tathai Gaur Premanandi, all glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna.